A chilling voicemail. A bizarre disappearance.
The growls turned to high-pitched moans.
Like he's moaning in pain.
Like moaning in pain.
A possible sacrificial ritual. This is the mysterious case of Henry McCabe. On November 2nd, 2015, the Ramsey County Sheriff's Department received a call from a kayaker who had discovered a dead body in Rush Lake in New Brighton, Minnesota. The Water Patrol was sent out to retrieve the body. At the time of the retrieval, the dead body was so decomposed that neither race, nor gender, nor age could be determined. The Ramsey County Medical Examiner determined 2 days later, on November 4th, that the body was Henry McCabe, a local that went missing about a month earlier. Henry McCabe was born September 16th, 1983. He immigrated from Liberia at the age of 14 due to civil unrest. He lived in Mounds View, Minnesota. It's a suburb of Minnesota. Mounds View has a high Liberian population. At the time, Henry was working as an auditor at the Minnesota State Department of Revenue and was married to Karen McCabe for 11 years, and they had 2 children together. Henry McCabe disappeared without a trace after leaving this bizarre voicemail.
It's a voicemail unlike anything you've ever heard before. There are 2 minutes worth of noises, bizarre ones, but very little actual talking. Authorities confirmed the disturbing middle-of-the-night call came from Henry McCabe's cell phone. It was Labor Day, September 7th at 2:28 in the morning.
So here's what happened. On Labor Day weekend, Henry wanted to hang out with 2 friends, one named William Kennedy and the other named Calvin Johnson. It is believed that he wanted one last guys' night out before he relocated to California. They went to a club called Pavlitsky's, which is in Spring Lake, and this club is about a 5-minute drive from Mounds View, where Henry McCabe lived. According to his 2 friends, William and Calvin, Henry did get drunk, which may be why Calvin had his wallet and William Kennedy had his keys, because they wanted him to be safe because he was too drunk to drive. It is important to note at this time that Henry supposedly was going through it at work. He had received disciplinary action and he was behind on bills and had symptoms of depression. Now, once they left the club, it is stated that Henry got into William's car. William said that he insisted that he drop him off at a gas station instead of taking him home. I will also note that this gas station is in the opposite direction of Henry's home. And this is where things get weird. Here's the timeline of events leading up to Henry's disappearance. September 6, 2015. At 1:40 a.m., this is the last time Calvin Johnson sees Henry at the club, leaving with William Kennedy. 2:15 a.m., Henry got into the car of William Kennedy, who had planned to take him home from there because he was inebriated. However, William later told investigators Henry asked to be dropped off at a gas station in Fridley. Fridley was another town that was a 6-minute drive from Spring Lake Park and was also in the complete opposite direction from Henry's home. At 2:28 a.m., Karen McCabe, Henry's wife, who was in California at the time, received a phone call which she said sounded like a pocket dial, and that her husband was screaming in pain, and that Henry said he'd been shot.
Try to picture where he was, what it might have been like, what circumstances would have made him sound like that.
Karen called Henry's brother, Tim Borbor. It is believed that she called him on a 3-way call, and that when the voicemail picked up, it recorded the last 2 minutes of Henry's call. At the very end of the call, there's a few seconds of silence, followed by a voice saying, "Stop it." After hearing the voicemail, Henry's brother Tim filed a missing person report with Mounds View law enforcement. A search and rescue operation was set up by Minnesota Community Policing Services to try and find Henry McCabe. September 15, 2015, the Mounds View Police Department conducts a search of the surrounding area and found nothing. On October 6, 2015, law enforcement decided to bring the case to a conclusion because not of the lack of effort by law enforcement, but because friends and family of Henry McCabe were not being cooperative. And this brings us to November 2nd, 2015. Henry's body was found floating in Rush Lake by a man who was kayaking. And on November 4th, it was determined to be the body of Henry McCabe. An autopsy revealed that he had drowned with no signs of trauma. Officials say that it doesn't appear that he came to Rush Lake on his own. It appeared that someone had brought him to that location. And the case is still ongoing. Why is this case so mysterious? The club wasn't too far from his home. His cell phone pinged 3 different locations. During the full voicemail, a voice that is believed to be Henry's claims that he has been shot. But the autopsy shows that there's no sign of trauma on Henry's body. The voicemail is so graphic, you would expect that his body would have endured some type of trauma. But there were no signs of a struggle, no signs of trauma, or no signs of violence. Henry was part of the Coalition for Justice in Liberia. It was formed to put an end to the devastating byproducts of Liberia's 14-year civil war. Henry was an activist in the coalition who had survived the entire civil war before he immigrated to the U.S. Henry's mother feels that he was sacrificed as some sort of ritual. One mysterious thing about this voicemail is that at one time, the actual full 10-minute voicemail was available for the media on the internet. I myself heard it. I heard the voice saying that he had been shot. I had also heard someone at the very end saying, "Stop it." The mysterious thing about this is that other YouTubers have heard this full voicemail as well, but we can all tell you that the full voicemail is no longer available anywhere on the internet. The only version of the voicemail that is available now is the 2-minute version that I played at the beginning of this video. One of the associations looking into Henry's death offered a $10,000 reward for any information that would lead to a resolution of the case. According to Minnesota Community Policing Services, they claim that Karen, Henry's wife, had withheld critical information to mislead the public and the association. A spokesperson from the organization, David Singleton, stated that Karen was purposely withholding information that they believe could lead to the location and recovery of Henry McCabe. Karen never issued a statement. And although this paints a very suspicious cloud over Karen, up until his body was discovered, she believed her husband was still alive. So what do you think happened to Henry McCabe? Leave me a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. If you have any information about what may have happened to Henry McCabe, please contact the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office at 651-767-0640.